because I'll tell you why. Because I'll tell you why. You hear me, then I'll tell you why. Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why? Then you stop, I'll tell you why. I can't shout over you. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, Mr. Pradhan. Don't be an anti-national.
Hello friends, I'm Kiran and you're listening to Master of No One. This past week was filled with mixed kind of news. Let's see what are the 7 things that you might have missed. Before proceeding there, Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi on Tuesday got really emotional while bidding farewell to one of the senior Congress leaders, Ghulam Nabi Azad, in the Rajya Sabha. Azad, the leader of opposition, is one among the 4 members who are retiring this month. The Prime Minister, while referring to Azad's contribution to the politics at House, said, and I quote, "You are retiring from the House, but I will not let you retire, and my doors are always open for you and will need your contributions and advice," unquote. Yes, the first news is the Uttarakhand Glacier burst. A disaster struck in Uttarakhand's Chamoli district on February 7, 2021 in a form of avalanche and deluge after a portion of Nanda Devi Glacier broke off. The sudden flood in the middle of the day of Ganga and Ganga Alkananda rivers, all intricately linked tributaries of the Ganga, triggered widespread panic and large-scale deviations in the high mountain areas. 2 important projects, which are power projects. One is NTPC's Tapa 1 Vishnugad and Hydel project, and second is Ganga Hydel project, were extensively damaged by the scores of the laborers trapped in the tunnels with the water rushing by. At least 38 people are feared dead and over 190 or 200 people are missing. This is the very sad news that happened in India almost in this month, and hopefully government is taking certain measures to make sure these families are safe. Alright, coming to the second news today that you might have missed is Narendra Modi talking about the farm bills in Rajya Sabha. Prime Minister Narendra Modi replied to the motion of thanks on President Nath Kovind's address in Rajya Sabha on Monday. He said, and I quote, "MSP was there, MSP is there, MSP will remain in the future. Affordable ration for the poor will continue and Mandis will be modernized," unquote. Remember, the farmers are protesting to repeal these farm bills since 90 days and almost 70 to 80 farmers lost their lives.
तो उसको ठीक करेंगे और कहीं ढिलाई है तो उसको कसेंगे। ऐसा तो है नहीं कि सब दरवाजे बंद कर दिए बस। और इसलिए मैं कहता हूं, मैं विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि मंडियां अधिक आधुनिक बने, अधिक प्रतिस्पर्धी होगी। इस बार बजट में भी उसके लिए हमने प्रावधान किया है। इतना ही नहीं, एमएसपी है, एमएसपी था, एमएसपी रहेगा।
Alright, coming to the third thing that you might have missed this week is a new word came into the Indian media industry, which is Andolan TV. If you don't know what is Andolan TV, it means Andolan is protest or fight or something like that. GV is being. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Rajya Sabha mentioned, and I quote, "A new entity has come up in the country, Andolan GV. They can be spotted wherever there is a protest, be it agitation by the lawyers, students, or laborers. Explicitly or implicitly, they can be found anywhere. They cannot live without Andolan. We have to identify them and protect nation from them." And this is what he said.
कुछ शब्दों से बड़े परिचित है। श्रमजीवी, बुद्धिजीवी, ये सारे शब्दों से परिचित है। लेकिन मैं देख रहा हूं कि पिछले कुछ समय से इस देश में एक नई जमात पैदा हुई है, एक नई बिरादरी सामने आई है, और वो है आंदोलन जीवी और बड़ा आइडियोलॉजी।
Coming to the fourth important thing that you might have missed this week is Seta says no action against Trinamool Congress MP Mawa Motra. But what did she say actually?
Has turned propaganda and disinformation into a cottage industry, whose biggest success is the recasting of cowardice as courage. I will lay out various instances where this government has demonstrated courage. The government claims it has shown courage to bring in a law that questions on arbitrary parameters who is or who isn't an Indian. The Citizenship Amendment Act was passed in 2019 in this House on the pretext of granting citizenship to persecuted Hindus and other minorities in neighboring countries. At the same time, it threw into an abyss of insecurity millions of Indians who had been living in this land for generations. But the rules by which this act will be implemented were not yet prepared by December 2020, according to the Ministry of Home Affairs. The courage to make India, the world's greatest democracy, into a virtual police state, whereby a single dubious complaint, both an eminent member of this House as well as one of India's most veteran journalists, is charged with sedition. The courage to try and take over every state government by hook or by crook, whether you have won the popular mandate or not. Does the ruling party wish that its legacy be that it governed the largest democracy in the world, or that it imposed a one-party rule in India? Ask yourselves. The courage to announce a national lockdown at only 4 hours' notice, causing untold misery, countless deaths, the sight of thousands walking for hundreds of miles with no food or money. This government spent less than 2% on social transfers, in contrast to OECD countries who spent 20% and 6%, which was spent by middle-income countries. The courage, no, the brazen audacity to announce an economic rebound. India was the single worst performer among developing countries in the year 2020. Even if we believe this government's economic survey, the economy was lower by 7.7% in 2020 and will rise by 11% in 2021. So in effect, by 2022, that is over a 2-year time span, the economy will be flat. The courage to use the official channels of the Ministry of External Affairs to respond to social media posts by an 18-year-old climate activist and an American pop star, where not even one single ministry has been deputed by this government to try and look out for the food, water and basic sanitation needs of the farmers and their families who have been camping at the border for almost 90 days. And finally, the courage to bring in 3 farm laws when the opposition, farmers across the country, as well as the government's oldest ally, warned it was unacceptable. These laws were arrived at without consensus, tabled without scrutiny, and rammed down this nation's throat with the brute force of the Treasury benches. They have firmly established this government's motto of brutality over morality. And everyone else in this country has been portrayed as a coward or a terrorist, from the farmers to the students to the old ladies of Shaheen Bagh. You say you have courage. You claim you have done so many things that no other government before you has done. Yes, that is true. In true fascist fashion, you have made every act of pettiness, of vengeance, of hate, of bigotry a part of your narrative of courage. The sacred cow that was the judiciary is no longer sacred. It stopped being sacred the day a sitting Chief Justice of this country was accused of sexual harassment, presided over his own trial, cleared himself, and then proceeded to accept a nomination to the upper house within 3 months of retirement, replete with Z+ security cover.
Okay, cool, no doubt. Cool.
She's really amazing. So, Trinamool Congress MP Mawa Motra paid a 20-minute speech in Parliament during the motion of thanks on 8 February was the talk of town. With her remarks over allegations of sexual harassment against the former CJI is the storm. Remember, she did not mention any names there. Earlier, the party leaders of BJP declared their intentions to pursue her for what they claim as the violations of Parliament rules. But later on, Bharatiya Janata Party and the government leaders had decided not to pursue any actions or breach the privilege motion against her. I asked why? 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 But why?
Because I'll tell you why. Because I'll tell you why. You hear me, then I'll tell you why. Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why? Then you stop, I'll tell you why. I can't shout over you. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, Mr. Pradhan. Don't be an anti-national.
All right, coming to the fifth thing that you might have missed this week is over 1 crore migrant workers returned back to their native places during the COVID-19 lockdown. Labor and Employment Minister Mr. Santosh Kumar Gangwar said on Wednesday, responding to the question of Trichy Shiva in Rajya Sabha, the minister said, and I quote, during nationwide lockdown amidst COVID-19 pandemic in June 2020, more than 1.14 crore interstate migrant workers returned to their homeland states. Most of these migrant workers have now returned to their workplace and engaged in a gainful employment, which is really a good news, and I really hope everybody is safe and with their employment and stuff. Alrighty, coming to the sixth incident that you might have missed this week is, according to the sources, the Indian government has ordered Twitter to block 1,178 Twitter accounts, allegedly with the links of Pakistan or Khalistan supporters who are spreading misinformation and proactive content on the farmers' protest. Remember, in this 1,178 Twitter handles, most of them are farmers' accounts or the people who are supporting farmers. And government is now looking to promote a new app called Koo, which is exactly like Twitter, which is in different color. Not sure why. You all know what's going on.
Cool. Oh, cool. Was it cool? It felt really cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool, but we're wrong.
Alrighty, coming to the last thing that you might have missed is Tesla buying Bitcoin, which became the biggest headlines this week. Bitcoin on Monday reaches the all-time high of 45,000 after Tesla announces it bought around 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin and also plans to accept it as a payment gateway for all its products in coming days. Experts say now you can buy Tesla vehicle if you have 2 Bitcoins only. I've checked their site. They are accepting cryptocurrency in US, and they might be starting their, acceptance of this cryptocurrency soon all over the world. Meanwhile, our Indian government is trying to ban cryptocurrency with no idea what they are doing. I don't understand whether our government wants us to go forward or they want us to go backwards towards those ancient ages where you fight for your own religion, you live for your own religion, you die for your king. I don't know what they're thinking, but these are the 7 things that you might have missed or you might have heard. I don't know, but every week I'll try to bring the 7 things, and I love doing this because this also improves my knowledge. This also helps me to grow. I know I really have to work hard on my voice, music, things, but yes, it's just a start, and there's a long way to go. Let's just think that we're all together in this. I really love you guys. Thanks for your support. The people are sharing it. Thanks for sharing this. And all I'm gonna say is goodbye. Happy weekend. Take care, guys. See you next week.